Wow, great videos. This guy really knows what he's doing. Wow, nice drone video, man. How come he only has 21 subscribers? This guy is amazing. Wow, look at this. Virtual tours. 16K? How does he do 16K? 360 video that he did in 8K in a beautiful place. Wow, low light. He really does it all, isn't it? Oh, hello. How are you? Sorry, I didn't see you there. Thank you so much for coming for this review. Now, I've made a little teaser a few days ago for all my 21 subscribers about this lens review coming. I haven't seen any other review. I know that there's a new one out at the moment, but yeah, the big ones didn't record anything. In any case, I wanted to compare this. If the dog that my neighbor has will stop barking, that is, I'll be able to talk to you guys. Shut the fuck. This is my fourth attempt of doing this video. So this review is going to be a comparison review. I'm going to take the 24mm compared to the the prime lens compared to the 24-105 F4-7.1 which I have, which is the cheapest lens of the three, and then the 24-240 which is a zoom lens, the most amazing flexible lens that Canon has, I think, in the RF lens. Because of the price, it's more expensive than the other two, but it is very it's very good in terms of flexibility. But both of those lenses, the zoom lenses, are much slower. So they start at F4. One goes to 6.3, the 24-240, and the 24-105 to 7.1. They're both more heavy. Obviously, the 24-240 is the most heavy. The 24-105 is, much lighter, and then the 24mm, which is the lightest. There's two parts. The first part, this part that I'm doing at the moment, is I took my camera, the R5-C, and those lenses to a point in the Gold Coast where I thought this is going to give me a really nice shot where I can compare the sharpness at the corners, in the middle, distortion, vignetting, everything, everything that needs to be fringing, everything that needs to be compared. And then I'm going to show you guys the Photoshop document that I've created. I've created three. One is unfixed, so basically just DNG files, one on top of the other, of all the apertures that, in one stop brackets that the RF 24mm can produce. Then I've compared that to the 24-240 at F4 and F8, and the 24-105 at F4 and F8. So full aperture, and also what is considered to be the ideal aperture in terms of sharpness and artifacts and things of that sort. I hope you'll enjoy it, all 21 subscribers. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, please do. If you, if you want to see the second part, if you want to see other videos that I have a lot of other videos that are not reviews, mostly 360 and VR180 videos, but also standard ones. I've bought the Canon R5-C because it has a dual fisheye lens, and basically, just sort of started to go crazy from there with the other lenses when I realized what a beast I have in my hands. So I hope you enjoy this. Expect like a long video. You can jump to the conclusions at the end. That's fine. Yeah, enjoy. So I want to start this review by comparing all the lenses in a photo that I took on the Gold Coast. Now, I do apologize that I didn't use a tripod, but as you'll see that it doesn't really matter here. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have here all the JPEGs. Sorry, it's a funny name, didn't name it properly yet, but yeah, so all the JPEGs that came out. The only fix that I did with them is I changed the brightness on some of them so it would match the other ones as much as I could. You can see here, this is 24mm means that it's the prime, the one that we're testing, 800 ISO, F1.8, and 8000 is the 8,000ths of a second, the shutter speed. Okay, so I've done all of the basically full stops here. Basically, this is a quarter of a stop, but F2, F2.8, F4, F6, and so on. With the 24 to 105 and 24 to 240, I've only upped it basically 2 stops, so F4 to F8. Didn't do the full scale. I did it because I just wanted to compare of how it looks and, you know, sharpness and things of that sort between, you know, compared to those lenses. But you can see, you know, F8 should be the sort of a good place for them. They should be, you know, sharp, you know, the sharpest it will get, or, you know, maybe it will get a bit sharper in other ones. I need to see in other reviews what they say, what is the ideal, you know, f-stop for those lenses. But you'll see here that, you know, basically I wanted to see there is a difference in sharpness and vignetting, things of that sort between all of those stops. So let's go back here. Let's remove this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one by one and compare it. Before I do that, actually, I want to show you what's the difference between what you get without corrections in each of them, each of those lenses. So I'll compare it. I'll compare that first, and then we'll go to the other things. So the first thing to say is that this review opened my eyes about the huge difference between the JPEGs and the DNGs. The only reason why I did the JPEGs originally, like I normally I assumed, I guess, that the JPEGs would be pretty similar to the DNGs, just, you know, corrected, you know, looks, you know, doing a little bit of work on them to look a little bit better. But basically, you know, it's the same thing, just the DNG has wider, you know, like it's a 16-bit file. It has like, you know, a huge dynamic range. You can adjust a lot of stuff that you can't with the JPEGs, and that's it. And it's not compressed. Well, it is compressed, but it's not as compressed. So the CR3, I just converted to DNGs to open with Photoshop. And basically, there's huge differences, huge. And some of those things that you can fix here, you can't fix with the JPEGs no matter what you do. So we'll get into that. In any case, what I want to do here is I'll put it on zoom, and we'll select this, and you'll be able to see. So this is f1.8. And if we'll zoom in, we'll be able to see, first of all, you can see there's barrel distortion. You can see there's vignetting, you know, pretty bad compared to, I guess, other lenses. We'll get to that in a second here. But yeah, so you have a few things like that. And let's look, if you zoom in, you see that there's chromatic aberration, there's purple fringing, especially if we look on the corners and the sides. So you can see here it actually it's a little bit less, but in any case, yeah, it exists. So you can see on the tree. And what I wanted to show is how better it gets the more we, you know, remove, like, which is normal, by the way. I mean, every lens has a f-stop where it's ideal. And yeah, in this case, if we go up one, well, this is not one, this is a quarter, but you'll see immediately that this is still there, but the vignetting is a little bit better. Even that third of a stop up looks better. We go to this one, again, gets it a little bit better. Still there, but yeah, a little bit less. And yeah, so it's still there. And then when we go to, so this is 2.8, F4, I think it's starting to get sharper. We'll do the sharpness comparison later because I've put it, I fixed them and I've put it, you know, tried to sort of like put them on top of each other as much as I could. But you can see that it's getting a little bit better in terms of the chromatic aberration. It's still there, but this is zooming in like quite a lot. If you look at the picture from, like, if you took this photo from a normal angle, you won't really see it that much. Yeah, it's definitely there, but you know, and then what I am impressed is how the vignetting becomes much, much better the more you go up. So again, a little bit less. It's interesting to see where it starts to be like a non issue. So you can see now, even though it's still there, it's getting a little bit, but a little bit less and less. F8, you can see, I don't see it here, it's still here. So high contrast, the purple fringe in here disappeared at F8. I don't see it here. This is the tree. So there's like green, but not much purple. So it changed a little bit in that regard. Then we go to F11. It's completely gone, I think, in here. And the trees still have it, unfortunately. Yeah, the tree, the corner still has it, but this, yeah, and then it crept up again. So it's a bit weird, but it's not as much as it was before. So it's getting better. And what is always getting better, like with each stop, like, you know, seriously better, is the vignetting. So it's completely gone here. Well, not completely gone, it's still there, but very, very little. It's surprising me to see that there's still, I actually thought that there is. So there you go. I thought that it's getting better, but it's not too much better. It is better here for some reason. So I guess the purple fringing disappeared. So it's a different thing. But yeah, but the vignetting is still there. Not the vignetting, so the chromatic aberration is still there's this, and there's F22, which you don't want to use because then you start losing sharpness. Interestingly, you know, and we'll see the sharpness test, you can go pretty high before you start losing sharpness because of diffraction, which you get pretty early. Like, I think usually with other lenses it's about F11, but or a little bit, or even like F16. But in here, I only saw it in F22. In any case, and also it's a higher ISO, as you can see, because I didn't want to like take it down to like 60. I've changed it, you know, 1/25 of a second. In any case, now let's compare it to those other lenses. So I'll take maybe the F4, and the F4. I'll compare apples to apples. So F4 and F4, and F8 and F8. Okay, so this is the F4 at 24-105, and we do this, and you can see, I mean, don't worry about the color. The changes in, like, this was a little bit more sunny. You can see like the sun was just behind a cloud, like a thin cloud, you know, in the other one. So it didn't really affect the lighting, but it's, you know, in here you can definitely see like the shadows and everything. In any case, this is the 24-105, and immediately you can see this is not just vignetting. This is literally like a crop. So yeah, so it's a big, like, it's a circle. And yeah, you can see that it's not very sharp. It's like on the sides. If we'll get to that, but basically there is vignetting, there is all those issues that the other lens had, and yeah, it's a shame. One of the things I wanted to show actually that I've noticed is this building here. You can see this, and here it's like all over the place. And the reason why I mentioned this is because you'll see in a second actually, but I couldn't actually fix it all the way. I could with the 24, and I couldn't with those ones. So let's try this. So this is F8. I'm going to go up to F8 here. So if we look at F8 on the 24, see, it looks pretty good. There is, you can see that there's some chromatic aberration here, but it's very minimal.
It's very, very minimal. That's what I want to say. So if I go here, and it's going to, I'll need to zoom in and out again. You'll see that it's so much more pronounced. And yeah, it's, you know, it's worse here. And then if we go to F8 on, this is the F8. You can see that it's all over the place. I think it's even like, let's just for the sake of it, just do the F4 again, because this building is especially interesting for me. You can see it's very strong here. And in F4, it's like really, really strong. And then we go to the 24 to 240 and we do this. So this is a 24 to 240. And again, we compare it to the F8. Sorry, well, let's compare it to the F4 here. You can see it's really bad. And look at this. So with the 24 to 240, and this is not actually, by the way, this is 25. So the EXIF said that I was on 25, not 24. So a little bit, just a tiny bit open, and it still has those circles. And this is another issue with this lens. So the 24 to 240 is known to be like reliant on fixing stuff. So there's barrel distortion, there's a lot of vignetting and this crop and and chromatic aberration, everything. I mean, if you look at the trees, it's more pronounced than the other one. And if you look at this building, it's really bad. And then if we go to, let's compare to this one, to the 24. There's vignetting, there's no circle of any sorts. It's actually interesting for me to see something. I want to see if I do this. So this is, I'm looking at the actual, I mean, this is 25, 24, those, it's a difference, but I think it's a little bit more than what you would expect in a change between 24 and 25. You see this here, and this, and if I do this, I get way more, like this is further in, I get way more than this. Yeah, you can see it's a very different look, and this is something you'll see in a second. We'll do the comparison of the sharpness, but the 24 is much sharper at 24 or 25, whatever it is here. If we'll go in, this is therefore, you'll see that there's all those issues. And if I go, so there's still, the same thing as the 24 to 105, a lot of vignetting, barrel distortion, and those circles. If I go to F8, and we'll go to F8 here so I can compare. So if I go here, it tamed it a little bit. I think more than the 24 to the 105. I'm not sure actually. You know what? It looks the same to me. But I mean, it's everywhere. It is sharper for sure. You'll see in a second we'll do the sharpness test, but you still have those things. That doesn't change no matter what you do. And if I take it out, this is the F8, right? You see how we got a better, even again, I know that it's 25, not 24, but still, like, I think the difference is a little bit more than, than just going, 1 mil more. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll test it. In any case, look how nice it looks like an F8. There's no, in here, for example, you can see like a little bit of chromatic aberration here, but there's nothing here. Well, sorry, here it is. Okay, so there is. Okay, so there is, but it's so much better. Like, and just look at this. Let's, sorry, let's just go back. I mean, there's no comparison. It's a different problem. Well, it's not a different problem. This is like green and purple. The other one's sort of more bluish. and then, but still, yeah, huge difference. So now we've done this, I want to go and do a comparison between the corrected ones to show sharpness, and then we'll compare the corrected ones to the JPEGs like I did at the beginning, and then yeah, we'll sort of sum it up. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm going to close all of this. Okay, so let's start with 1.8. So I'm going to zoom in on this, and this is comparing it to itself for the moment. You can see at F.8, I was able to, there's this funny hello. I actually saw it, and I'm doing on purpose the corners because those are usually the places where things are, you know, not the best. There's a little bit of like weird, like sort of light going like this. Now, I took it at 8,000ths of a second. Now you can say, it's a smear because of maybe motion blur and stuff, but it's a bit weird for me that that would happen because 8,000ths of a second is kind of fast, you know? I don't think like, and it was with optical stabilization, so I don't think it's that. And I've also noticed that even if I go to F8, yeah, I still have it a little bit. So not a lot, but yeah, no, here it is. So it's not that, okay? So there is this smearing. I couldn't get rid completely of the chromatic aberration. There is, as you know, in the like in Camera Raw, you can, you know, do the chromatic aberration removal. I don't know if it's because of using the profile, but like the wrong profile, because there is no profile yet for this one. But and that's what I wanted to show you guys. If we look at the JPEG, I don't know if it's because JPEG's like if Canon doesn't do it. If we look at the JPEG, you would think that it would like Canon would know how to fix it. You still have the vignetting, and look, it's pretty strong still. You can see here and in here. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but in any case, and it's interestingly, and that's something that I haven't noticed yet, is that it actually fixed that thing. Weird. Okay, so it managed to do that. Nevertheless, yeah, there's lots of chromatic aberration everywhere in the JPEG. We already saw that there's a huge difference in, you know, in what you get to save from the picture. But in any case, now that we have this open, I want to compare it to the rest of them. So let's do that. So F1.8. Now let's go to F4. So that's what I did before. Hey, let's move this. Okay, so let's compare. F1.8. I really want to put you. Sorry guys, I'm just going to fix this for a second. I really want to put it where it should go. Yeah, this is where it was. Okay. All right. This is okay. This is opacity will take up to 1,000. Okay. So if I zoom in, let's zoom in. I want to see how different it is. And this is actually very good because I can see like my test is how good it it looks. So this is, as you can see, we are at 162, so we're already seeing the pixels. So it's not that bad. I mean, no matter what it's not the middle, but it's also not the far corner. This is the far corner. If I do this, you can see what I do get is like contrast. So remember, I didn't contrast and clarity. I didn't do, you can see here there's like smearing all over the place, and I didn't do anything other than go a third of a stop up. I fixed it. Those are fixed, but you do get a little bit more sharpness. But even at F2, it's very sharp. Now, if I compare it to, well, you know what? Let's go to F4. Let's compare apples to apples. So we'll go to F4 for that, because the more you go up, the better it looks. You lose a lot of those issues that you had. You can see that I've minimized or eliminated chromatic aberration at f2.8. F2.8 is still very fast for lens. The center, I've noticed, is fine no matter what. Like even I think even if at F1.2, sorry, F1.8, I think it looks good. But you can see it a little bit. Yeah, it looks good, but it's still. This is a little bit sharper. Again, I've played with it differently with different ones, but it's not that different. So, yeah, it's a little bit less. You know, in this case, it's something you can fix and probably did fix, and you know, something you can fix yourself in any way. The problems that are harder to fix are chromatic aberration and some distortion sometimes, but yeah, looks really good, really, really good. You can see this is the tree that exhibited a lot of chromatic aberration, and you can see a tiny bit of purple, but it's so small. And if I go back to 1.8, it's still there. Again, not something that you need to worry about too much. If it's at low light, it doesn't matter. Like, you just go 1.8 if you want to. But F2 is already much better, and F2.8, I was able to eliminate it completely. And I've tried. I don't want to bore you with. It's already a long video, and you sort of go with me and do stuff with me. But yeah, you can imagine it took me like a few hours to just organize all of this. By the way, I already recorded this video where I do all of this on my Mac, and OBS Studio decided to not work, basically. It recorded it all with like a freeze frame. Very annoying. Anyway, let's go to F4. F4. Interestingly, you see a little bit, but again, very minimal. And yep, very good. F4 is very nice and sharp. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to compare to the F4 on the 105 and the F4 on the 24 to 250. So this is the 24 to 105 at this, and you can see there's so much blurriness. Now, it's not, again, this is 1,000th of a second with optical, and that's, again, by the way, another thing. You can see the jump is pretty big. So this is even the F4 on I've used actually a little bit faster. When I fixed it, it wasn't a huge difference. The F4 is just darker, like in a way that for some reason I used the 2,000th of a second compared to 1,000. So in any case, the blur is not because of motion. It's just blurry. And you can see in the middle here that it's not sharp, but it's not blurry. There's no motion blur. It's just not sharp. Okay, and if we look here, yeah, and you can see also that there's still chromatic aberration issues after going extremely, like, it's a little bit less here, but after going extremely strong on this. So nevertheless, the 24 to 105 is not that bad. If we go up to the 24 to 240, whoa, right? So the F4 is like, again, the base f-stop, like the max aperture, and it's so blurry. If we go to the middle, you'll see that it's not motion blur, because this is sharp. It's a little, it's not sharp, it's not tack sharp, but it's a bit better. But yeah, wow, look at this. And there's still chromatic aberration that you can't completely fix, and we lost the you know, it's definitely the 24 to 240 is not 24. I'm pretty sure that after the corrections that you do, you lose a lot. I mean, with the JPEG, you lose a lot. And that's something that I wanted to show now. So let's just quickly go to the JPEG. I think I already showed it, but in any case, I'll show it again. So the 24 to 245 f4, let's show you this. 24 to 105 f4. So this, and this is after I fixed. So you can see the sky. It says, I mean, this is me doing different things, but it's the same photo. It's not different. It's the same photo. And with the JPEG, all the issues are still there. You can't, I've looked it up. I never had this problem, so I didn't need to look at to learn how to do it, but because I always use the DNGs. And if I'm filming, like if I'm taking JPEGs with my phone or with all the cameras, I never actually was so detailed like I did in review stuff. So if there was chromatic aberration that you couldn't really see from a distance of this, I'll just, okay, whatever. But you can see, I've Googled it. It's very, very hard to, it's not like a press a button, it's gone. It's work. It's a lot of work if you can even fix it. So yeah, not good. Not good here, not good here. Blurry, definitely, you know, and that's the JPEG. Now the JPEG for this one, again, you can see like it's zoomed in big time. There's still, you can see here, there's still, and even here, there's still vignetting happening even with the zoom in and the fixing of the distortion. Still vignetting, still chromatic aberration, it's still over the place. So, and of course you can't fix the blur. So yeah, always work with the DNGs. I've learned, today I've learned something new. Always work with the DNGs. Never ever look at the JPEGs, forget about them. You can keep them for, like, you always save them because they're small and it's good to back up, but yeah, work with the DNGs. Oh, with the CR3s in this case. Anyway, so, because my camera makes CR3s. Anyway, so, we compared this. Now let's for a second go back to here and continue to climb up. It just gets better and better. I'm not going to even like the contrast and everything. Again, this is something that I fixed, but I don't want to bore you with just looking at, like, you know, I didn't fix all of them exactly with the same, like I press auto and then I do a little adjustments because I wanted to work quickly. But you can see, and don't worry about the noise we have to pass for it, and we can do it also with in here, and it will clean it. But it's so sharp at f5.6, and the vignetting, by the way, from the get-go, I didn't have any problem to correct, even with the without this, like without the like with the. So what I mean is, like, I didn't have any problem. It wasn't like I pressed the, you know, the preset for the 24 to 105. It fixed most of it. I upped a little bit, you know, the slider. It fixed it completely. Yeah, no problem from F1.8. You can see the F1.8. It's also pretty good. So no problems at all. And then if we go down up to F8. Sharp as a razor, very good. It just, yeah, it doesn't get worse, let's just say that, it just gets better. And then we'll go to F8 and then we'll compare it to the other one too. So we are at F8, it gets better and better and better. I think we can't get any better now, like it's just sharp and sharp period. And what we can do is compare it to the 24 to 105 at f8. Still blurry. It looks so different, isn't it? Like, it looks so yuck. And this is DNGs, guys. It's like, I think I fixed, oh, I might have fixed the noise. I might have fixed the noise here. So that might have happened. And still, it's pretty bad. You know what? For the sake of it, let's go to the. Well, I might have fixed the noise, so we'll compare it. We'll do, and you can see that there's still chromatic aberration even here, here. and that's after fixing. So I'm going to go here, 24, okay, 24.8. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to fix it with you guys. So you'll see that even if I fix that's not going to change anything. So this is what I do, right? I press auto first of all. It fixes it to a point, which is good. You can sort of play with it afterwards. I add some saturation. Yeah, I actually prefer it to be not as hot, like as warm as the other one. But yeah, it looks good now. I'll go to detail. So the sharpening is off, and this is what we want to fix. But before I do that, let's fix it here. So it already knows that this is my default now. You can see that I can fix it. This is actually a little bit. This is what I did before. I think this is good, right? Looks nice and even a little bit less. Yep. Okay. So it's all nice, and it's the fringe also up, and you can see there's color noise now. That's okay because I didn't do anything here, so I've actually removed it. But let's remove all the color noise. Let's remove the noise in general. You can see that it still looks pretty good, even if I go to all the way, and I don't need to. Let's go maybe here. And this is not doing it with, you can do it with topaz, and it would look even better. But if we do sharpening, which you should, it's normally here, and then just play with it a little bit, it will still look pretty good. I can see where it's sort of, ruined it here. That's okay. I'm just going to remove as much as I can, then sharpen as much as I can. And I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to compare it to this. So this is this, and this is this, and the 24 to 40, which I allegedly fixed, is still super blurry. Ah, sorry, no, this is not what I'm looking at. Okay, so I fixed it here. So we're looking at this, the F8. Weren't we looking at this? No, didn't get to it. Anyway, so this is a 24 to 105. You can see, yeah, compared to this, it's still way, way, way better. I mean, even if you look at this, that really suffered from that, the brunt of the noise reduction. It's better here. This is very, guys, this is like pixel level. Look at this. Okay, so pretty bad, right? Now let's look at the 24. The 24 is even worse. In here, I did in the 24. I didn't use any noise reduction. It's smeared, and that's F8. So F8 and the 24, guys, should be really good, right? I've managed to remove most of the chromatic aberration, so that's okay, but not all of it. You can see in the tree, it creates all sorts of weird stuff trying to do that. And again, we've got so much, it's like zoomed in. So yeah, very different indeed. So again, this is good, and that's now basically you can see 24 is superior. The prime, it's not perfect, but it's superior. When we get to F11, maybe a tiny little bit of less sharpness, but it's still really, really sharp. You can see, not really a huge difference. And then you would expect now it starts the diffraction. The light diffraction creeps in, so you can see we lost a tiny little bit of sharpness, but not a lot. This is pixel level, remember. Still pretty good. It's something that you can fix. If you want to fix it, you can fix it. So you can still up the contrast and sharpen. At f/22, though, even then, it's not that bad. You see, you start to lose, like it doesn't look as good. You start to get it, the picture gets a little bit soft, but not huge. Not what you would expect. It's so, you need to take into account that you lose so much. And this is also, by the way, ISO 1.6. Like when you up the ISO, you're getting more noise. It's not going to, after the noise, it's not going to look as sharp anyway. You're going to lose some stuff, but not that bad. All right, so in conclusion, 24 is superior. 24 to 105 is at 24. We're talking about 24, okay? Is surprisingly, even though it's much cheaper. I mean, I know this is a better zoom and everything, but it's so much cheaper than this one, and it has image stabilization and autofocusing, and that's like a really cheap, really cheap lens. Let's find out how much it is. DigiDirect sells it for the cheapest, I think, and it's $1,200 or so $1,206. If you're crazy, you go to Ted's Camera and you order it for basically 20% more. What the heck? 24 to 105 F4 to F7.1 in DigiDirect is 594. So, you know, half the price, even a bit less than half the price, which is fine. I mean, you get, the other one is a little bit brighter at the maximum, but you know, it's just a brighter lens, even though they both start at f4, and you also get, you know, 240 instead of 105 for the, you know, the max zoom range. But this is lighter, this is way cheaper, and it's still, the quality is a little bit better. Not as good as the 24 prime, but pretty good. So this is still a good lens. The thing is that if you go to the 24 mil RF F1.8, it's $999. Okay? And $999 is before the discount that I got, so I bought it for $799. So it's more expensive than the Zoom, but there are good things about it. I mean, in terms of the sharpness, we're only talking now about the sharpness. We're going to do another video now on, I'm going to continue the review with, so I'm going to continue the review now with about the video modes, and you know how it looks, and all the things that you can do with it in terms of you know, the extra bokeh that you get, the macro, and all of those things, and the low light, of course, which is the #1 thing, I guess, for you know, for this. So yeah, so stick around. I'm going to continue this in part 2, which I hopefully would be a bit more concise. I know that this was a long video. So I'm going to continue the review now with about the video modes, and you know how it looks, and all the things that you can do with it in terms of you know, the extra bokeh that you get, the macro, and all of those things, and the low light, of course, which is the #1 thing, I guess, for you know, for this. So yeah, so stick around. I'm going to continue this in part 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, join me for the next one.